Hey, welcome back to another spotlight session with Network Las Vegas. I'm Stan Shields, your host today. Network Las Vegas is a networking organization that meets twice a month. So we meet on the first and the third Wednesday of the month. I almost said first and third Thursday. I'm confusing myself here. At any rate, we meet on the first and third Wednesday of the month at 11:30 a.m. So it's kind of a lunchtime meeting. So we'd love to have you come in and check it out, see if it makes sense for you, see if it's a good fit for your business. But we have some great business people and it's not really an exclusive group. So we may have a couple of people that are in similar areas, but we all work together because we all have our strengths and can help each other out. So come check it out. The first and third Wednesday of each month. You can find the details and meetings and register for it. Everything is at networklasvegas.com. I also want to mention that next week is our live in-person event. In fact, I believe in May, we'll have one Zoom meeting of regular meeting, and then we'll have one regular meeting that's in person, and that place is yet to be determined. And then we will have a social event that we will then invite lots of other people to. And that social event is typically on the fourth Tuesday of the month from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock p.m. So next week's event will be on April 26th, I believe. April 26th, 5 to 7 p.m. It will be at Limestone. Let's get the right name right here. So it is at Limestone Investments LLC. I believe that's on West Sahara, but you'll be able to get all the details at networklasvegas.com. So come join us and let's see whether or not it makes sense for you and for your business. Today's spotlight speaker is Michael V. Morrow. And I'm going to give Michael 30 seconds to kind of do his 30-second introduction and tell us a little bit more about who he is. And then we're going to dive deeper with some very specific questions. So, Michael, give us your elevator pitch. Who are you?
I'm Michael V. Morrow, freelance copywriter and affiliate marketer. I write marketing copy for emails, landing pages, social media. I also do videos, and I'm out there letting my ideal client know that I have something that can solve their problem. When you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody.
All right. And that's one of our favorite phrases, isn't it? When you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And that's a great lead in to what we're going to talk about today, because one of the big challenges, I think, is that for many, many small businesses is they don't really know who they're looking for. They think they're looking for everybody. I will ask small businesses that question quite a bit. And I will say to them, who's your ideal customer? Who's your ideal prospect? Right? And they say, oh, everybody. We can help everybody. Maybe you can help everybody, but I can show you probably 100 situations where there is someone that you can't help because they either don't need it, they already have it, they can't pay for it. There's a bunch of reasons why everybody is really not your ideal customer. You do have an ideal customer. So you said one of the phrases that you use quite a bit is a marketing persona. So what is a marketing persona? Tell us a little bit more about that. And well, we'll get into other questions after that. First, tell us about it. What is it?
A marketing persona engages and connects. Basically, people are looking for somebody they have something in common with, commonality. Commonality is very important to people, whether they're online or in person. If there isn't commonality there's nothing to really reach them with. They're like, well, you're like anybody else I've ever met. And it's even worse when somebody pitches you something, because they're usually pitching the product. Oh, this would be right for you. How do you know? Who are you? Their basic thing is why you. So there has to be a personality there to attract that person and get them to make a decision. It's know, like, and trust.
Yep. Hey, I just want to say hi to Cheryl Coco. She just reached out to us and said hello. She's watching over on LinkedIn. Hey, Cheryl, if you're still there, glad you caught even just a little tiny bit of our interview here with Michael. So, at any rate, so let's talk about the why is a marketing persona necessary? Why is it important for these small businesses? What's your take on that?
It's important because you want people to buy your product. You want to be able to make some money. You want to be able to help them. If you really care about them, you want to help them. So then you have to have that know, like, and trust there. You have to be able to connect with them. Like I was talking about commonality, that starts it out. They have something in common with you. When you talk to somebody about a situation you went through and they say, hey, I went through something like that, then it just starts, and it just keeps steamrolling there, because you'll come up with more things. Stories are big. If you tell stories that somebody else connects with, then all of a sudden it's like they've known you for years. That's what you want to really connect with.
Exactly. And so there's the key to me. There's the key right there is how are you able to connect with a person so that a person looks at what you have to offer or looks at you and says, "Where have you been? I've needed you my whole life and I'm so glad you showed up." Right? Versus if we're trying to sell something to someone who doesn't need it, right? Then now I'm in this position of trying to convince them that they should take this thing, that they should, you know, do this thing, whatever it is. I had a lady last night in a networking event trying to convince me to be on her Facebook Messenger mailing list. She said, "Well, just sign up. You don't have to do anything. We're just going to keep giving you information about the products and so forth." And I said, "But I don't need those products. I don't feel like I have a need for it. So why do I want to be on a mailing list?" And she goes, "Well, it won't cost you anything. And we'll just put the information out there." I said, "Well, what good would that do me if I never look at the mailing list?" So if I don't have a need for it or a desire for it, why would I ever even go look at the mailing list to see what information you put out there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
because I have emails that run down. I've got more emails now than I've ever had in my life, because of people saying, "Oh, just let me have your email address. Let me send this to you. You might be interested in it. You don't have to do anything." No, I just have a clogged email box.
exactly, right? So let's move on here to I have another question for you here. So why do you think it is that most small businesses, one, they don't understand this, they don't get this concept, but why do they not have this marketing persona in place?
Two reasons. Two reasons. Number one, it takes work. They'd actually have to work on researching and finding out who their ideal customer is, who the one that would be buying all this would be, who the one that they could help is. The other is they're afraid of making the connection. They're afraid of getting into a position where they have to share themselves with somebody. There's that wanting to relate. I mean, if they don't want to relate, then they're not going to reach out to anybody. So the easiest thing is to throw out the product and
Mm-hmm.
hope it hits against something and it sticks.
Mm-hmm. It's like throwing that old thing about that old adage about the spaghetti. Just throw as much of it against the wall, see what sticks, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any examples of a business that maybe went from not having one that went to having one and how it's maybe made a difference?
Let me tell you something about social media, because it's big. This is where you get to meet all these new people that you have a connection with. You've seen what I've been doing. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, when you're on there and you're letting exposing yourself. You're out there showing people who you really are. And I'm going through a series of that this week. As a matter of fact, yesterday and the day before and today, I've been talking about what is stopping people. And I'm growing like crazy on Instagram. I've got all these followers. I got them on TikTok. These people are coming out of nowhere. And it's all because I'm saying things that really resonate with them. Don't hide who you really are. A lot of people in marketing are that way. They just want to throw the product out there. They're afraid of opening themselves up. They're afraid of showing who they really are.
There's something that I learned once I heard this phrase through a real estate training course, and I said, holy smokes, this is so good. I have to use this more because I think this is exactly what you're saying. What this real estate trainer said was, don't be a secret agent.
That's it.
If you are not putting yourself out there and putting yourself in position to get new business coming to you, then you won't. If you're top secret and nobody knows that you're there, nobody knows that you exist, then people aren't going to come to you. I love what you have been doing with Instagram and with TikTok. And I'm looking at it. And by the way, I'm going to tell you that you are an inspiration for me because I'm like, look at Michael. He's got something out there every single day, or at least that's what it seems like, right? He's got something out there all the time. And that's how we have to do it if we want to get exposure for our business. Because these days, competition is fierce.
Yeah, and people are afraid of having the people who criticize you on there, the trolls. They're afraid of these people, and I'm like, that's who you want, some type of reaction. If they're mean, just go on there. I'm excited that you even said something to me. And then they don't even contact you again because they didn't get what they wanted.
That's right. That's right. So let's wrap this up. How can a small business get started with putting a marketing persona in place? I mean, so what are your thoughts on that? What's some of the first things that they can do to figure out who their ideal customer is and to start to really zero in on their best customers?
I think the best thing to do before they zero in on anybody and do that research is to go out in front of people like I did with when you were running the Las Vegas Health and Fitness Chamber of Commerce. I went out there and met people. I got out of my shell because I'm an introvert. I got out there and I met people. I met you. I met all these other people. And it set me up for what I could do online. You have got to break out of your shell. A lot of these people won't break out of their shell. They set this up because they feel that they don't want to be criticized, or they were taught something way back that they were not worth it. And they've got to break from that. And the only way to do that is to get out there and really see people, and then they'll be even more effective online.
I love that. That is fantastic. So let's put your contact info on the screen here so that if people want to learn more about you, there's your contact info is down there scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So it's michaelvmorrow.com is the easy. It says his name is Michael V. Morrow. Go to michaelvmorrow.com. You can get his contact info and everything. But you also are offering a free session or something, right? So tell us about that.
Well, basically, it's just to get to know what that person is looking for, whether it be a client, a prospect as a client, or somebody who's just looking for help in figuring out what they're going to do as far as their marketing goes. I have no problem with having a free session with somebody and sitting down and finding out what they're all about and what they're trying to do. That way it helps them, and they're going to come back with something that helps me. That's what networking is all about.
Okay, great. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you making the time to be here and be on our broadcast so that we, again, this is the reason that we're doing this broadcast is because Michael's a part of Network Las Vegas. And in fact, Michael's one of the founding members. There's 4 of us. And so Michael's one of those founding members for Network Las Vegas. And later on today, he will be doing a much larger presentation for the group. And so it'll be great to see that. So if you're watching this and it's not 11:30 yet, then be sure to come join us at networklasvegas.com. You can register for the meetings right there, sign up right there, and you can meet Michael as well as the rest of the group. So do you have any final last words before we sign off, Michael?
Yes. Once you know your persona and your ideal audience, you'll know the keywords you need to use. You'll find them, you'll research them, you'll know where to find them, and you'll find the best ones, and that'll attract even more.
There you go. Love it. Awesome. So very good. All right. That's it for today's episode. So we'll catch you next time. So be sure to come and join us. Hang on, Michael. Don't go anywhere.